Good evening, fellow punchers. Mickey D back with you here on Sunday evening, just gone 6 o'clock, with a few selections tomorrow. Hopefully better than today. The two that I picked, the step down and trip rather than the step up and trip, was the key angle to go to in the 150. And as well as that, I don't think it made a huge difference, but 5 horses in a race and to get in bother and jockey, name is so. Especially in a sprint like that, because it sets your momentum backwards, like. And the other one broke last, no good. But we got sort of our money back and a bit of profit. Christina came up with Beautiful Ashling, and she put up a comment earlier today, who fancied Anton in the 330. And I had been looking at it last night, the racing in France today. Bougemont, that done us a good turn on Good Friday in Newcastle, tipped him up at 16s and he won at 10s. And I put up that today, and I see by the replies that a good few backed it. I had a couple of score on it at 100 to 30, but I didn't get the 11 to 2. I had it on with the green bouquet. What an amount of, I won't say, gave them so. But anyway, it was a winner. I should have put it up in the description. I always check the comments because there's good tips going in there as well. They don't all win, but you can evaluate them yourself and see where they're going. They're not putting them up for the fun of them. But it's a good day's racing anyway. Frank O'Neill was on the bus first this morning as we were heading out. He's a newcomer. He got a nice pass. John White landed. He had a food menu in his hand. He's a good man, a good appetite. He likes eating in good places. He had the breakfast and the coffee pot in Abbeyfield a couple of times, he was saying. Dino arrived with the golf clubs. He was swinging them, doing a bit of swinging in the car park. He was heading for the President's Prize at his local golf club. Paul Manton arrived very well tanned in a pair of shorts, showing off the tan. He was after coming back from holidays out abroad. Des Gibbons as well. And a lot of the passengers had chipped in a few quid over the last couple of days, and they had bought Christina Davis a new reclining armchair, and someone arrived as well with a small little footstool for her to put up her feet, just to make her comfortable up at the front and in front of the television. Tommy Plunkett arrived. He was doing a bit of busking in the car park. He was singing Lovely Leitrim, thought he was Larry Cunningham. Gary Donlan from Longford was telling the people that he spent 15 years in New York, and he used to go to Saratoga a few times. I was in Saratoga as well. Absolutely fantastic track. Remind you a bit like Killarney, very picturesque and that. There's a horse race called over there, and the bar is called after 4-Star Dave. 4-Star Dave was the only horse ever to win 8 consecutive years from a 2-year-old onwards. The owner was a Roscommon man. We used to call him Benny Connerton before he went from that league, and he was a generation older than me, but they called him in America Benny Connaughton. He used to own McMinimans down in South East Streetport, and it never opened again after the World Trade Center was bombed, because it was close by that time, and that was all closed off, that couple of blocks. But Benny had 4 Stars All-Star as well, that won the Irish 2000 Guineas in 1991, to send it over Leo O'Brien. He was a brother of, remember Michael O'Brien that trained Bright Highway, I think, wasn't it, to win the Mackeson years ago. He was in a wheelchair. Leo was a brother of his. He was training upstate New York, and they sent over Mike Smith and the horse and won it, and pulled off a nice gamble as well. I can't remember the SP, that was in 1991. But Benny is still alive anyway. I haven't been talking to him now in a few years, but we had some good times together down through the years. Solid man. But it's a great place, Saratoga. If anyone ever has ever gone over there and wants to go racing, go there. Especially the last couple of weeks of July and the entire month of August is the only time they're open. Noel Phelan arrived. He had a pair of Wellingtons with him under his arm, and I inquired what was he going to do with those. And he said, for fear we might be going to Leitrim. He said he worked in Leitrim on him. It rained for the first 8 days that he was there. So I had to be always slagging the Leitrim people about the rushes. They don't like it, some of them, but they're not too bad. So they'll come up here when they don't have to wear Wellingtons when they go out through the front door. Mrs. Andy Haylett arrived, and she was pushing a small little wheelbarrow. She had a good win the other day on 4 of William Buick's winners. And I looked at her, and the grip that she had on the handles of the wheelbarrow, it wasn't her first time pushing one. She was well able to do it. That's it. A few for tomorrow. I rambled on maybe too much there now. I was a good few hours this morning going through races, and I had a list of about 9 that I whittled down. The 225 at Downpatrick tomorrow, that's Happaugue for John O'Connell. Ran a huge race the last time in Bellewstown. It was nearly the selection, but I was swayed by course for him by Alexharwill. It's trained by Leslie Young and ridden by Tommy Brett. He's claiming 7. It has ran 5 times at the track. It has 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and a 4th. And arguably, the last run, which was 4th, could have been his best run. It was over 2 miles too. But he was round on the rail and through the whole well, jumped well, travelled well, got into a spot of bother before the turn, got into a spot of bother again after the last, and then switched outside and ran on to finish 4th. You could have said that he could have been the winner of that race, and he's I think he went up a couple of pound. But he's 7 to 1, and I thought a pint each way at 7 to 1. They're paying 4 places. I think he should be very competitive. I'd say if the jockey, he's only a young lad, if he learns a bit from the last day, he could do, be there or thereabouts. In the 5:30 at Roscommon, there's 15 declared, but there's Earls for Gavin Cromwell, won for us the last time 2 weeks ago, and I was coming up along with Gavin Cromwell afterwards. He said the blinkers off done the trick. He was surprised the way how cosily he won, and I said he'll win again the next one. He says maybe he will, but this is a bit more competitive, and there's a bit of a dilemma in it, because that's just Dandy that ran yesterday in the Cambridgeshire is the 3 to 1 favourite in it, but will they run him is the thing 2 days after. And Rick Dalton is a 5 to 1, and so is Earls. So I'll put up a selection tomorrow when I see does that run or not. That Rick Dalton as well is very consistent in maidens, and he had one great run in a handicap 3 runs back when he was second to Big Baby Bull. Ice Cold Alex that won yesterday was 5th. Darian was 3rd. The Punk Post that was 8th. That has won since. But he's drawn 15 is the only problem. He's an awful big horse. He hasn't great finishing speed, but he's a relentless galloper. You nearly think they should step him up and trip maybe a bit. But I'll put up a selection for that when I see tomorrow what's the story. In the 4:41 at Chepstow, Max Dilemma is a hot favourite at 6 to 4. But Biggles for Ray Beckett is a 5-year-old out of Zoffany. Now, this needs good ground, and was pulled out of running a couple of times when the ground was good to soft. But this has won 4 out of 9. That's 44%. Now, it won 3 of those in Kimpton, and it has to have good ground when it runs in Kimpton. It's a big galloping sort. It's a big galloping track. The uphill, the strong finish and stretch should suit. It's a 7 to 2 shot. If that runs, they'll be saying, the ground is suitable. So we'd have a pint win on that. And there's a long shot of the day. It's a 20 to 1 shot. And anyone that likes the song Hotel California, the first line is on a dark desert highway. Well, the horse's name is Dark Desert Highway. It's for Michael O'Callaghan. It won in Naas last year at 66 to 1 over 6 furlongs off a rating of 51. The handicapper put it up 10 pounds up to 61. It had 3 runs back in the Curragh. It was 6th of 24. It was eye-catching, I thought. And it looked like a step up in triple suit. And the last day it ran, even though it was 11th in a big handicap, it ran well enough. It was only beaten 6 lengths. I was picking it out as they were coming up the stretch in the videos I was watching last night and this morning. It's back to a rating of 55, which is only £4 higher. They're paying 4 places in that. Now, this is a speculative bet, but I do look for those now and again, and sometimes they might get placed. 20 to 1 shot. We'll go half a pint each way on that. And this one then is the 7 o'clock in Roscommon, mile 4. 18 declared. It was won last year by a 3-year-old from the Joseph O'Brien yard. And he's a selection again this year of mine. It's a 3-year-old filly, Libby, out of Highland Reel. It was his first run in Galway after leaving the Philip Macon yard. And it's a big, strong 3-year-old. But it ran on the rail the whole way around. And even coming up into the dip, I got into a bit of bother. And I got into bother again in the stretch. And it finished, or it switched out wide then. If you want to look at the video of it, you'll see what I'm saying. And it finished off strong. It's up £3, but you could say that was the moral victor of the race. It was that race that Pale Moonlight was second and Star Image won. And Pale Moonlight didn't do anything for the form the other day, but I just think it has regressed, that horse, somewhat. But this is a 4-1 shot in some bookies and 7-2 generally. I think that's worth a 2-point win. The track in Roscommon, a clear run. This should be competitive. He won it last year. He's bringing back one of those. He could have, won or ran and other horses as well. So we'll see. Anyway, that's a bit longer than normal for me. I don't like going over the 10 minutes. It's gone over it now anyway. What can be done? Anyway, I'm going racing tomorrow evening. I'm doing this run in the morning. And typical of the crack in Ireland, I got a list today and I have to pick up somebody, the special needs assistant, at 8:05 at a school in Roscommon. What's her name? Don't know. Have you a phone number? Don't know. Why? Because that's the school's problem and we're bus airding. We run the buses. They run the staff. And 3, no addresses either, just what do you call them, the zip codes. So I have to go through that now and try and get me a route ready for the morning. And I'll get this into the oven. Bash the bookies, over and out. I'm going to the race tomorrow evening, so I don't know what will be the story with the video. Maybe afterwards, because it's the first race I think is at 4:30. Over and out.